Both Judaism and Christianity see the Bible as religiously and intellectually significant. It provides insight into its time and into the composition of the texts. And it represents an important step in the development of thought. It is used in communal worship, recited and memorized, provides personal guidance, a basis for counseling, church doctrine, religious culture, teaching, hymns and worship, and ethical standards. U200A 145, U200A. The Bible is centrally important to both Judaism and Christianity, but not as a holy text out of which entire religious systems can somehow be read. Its contents illuminate the origins of Christianity and Judaism, and provide spiritual classics on which both faiths can draw, but they do not constrain subsequent generations in the way that a written constitution would. They are simply not that kind of thing. They are a repository of writings, both shaping and shaped by the two religions. As a result, there are teachings and creeds in Christianity and laws in Judaism that are seen by those religions as derived from the Bible which are not directly in the Bible. For the Hebrew Bible, canonization is reserved for written texts, while sacralization reaches far back into oral tradition. U200A80, U200A. When sacred stories, such as those that form the narrative base of the first 5 books of the Bible, were performed, not a syllable could be changed in order to ensure the magical power of the words to presentify the divine. U200A80, U200A. Inflexibility protected the texts from a changing world. U200A80, U200A. When sacred oral texts began the move to written transmission, commentary began being worked in. But once the text was closed by canonization, commentary needed to remain outside. Commentary still had significance. Sacred written texts were thereafter accompanied by commentary, and such commentary was sometimes written and sometimes orally transmitted, as is the case in the Islamic madrasa and the Jewish yeshiva. U200A81, U200A. Arguing that Torah has had a definitive role in developing Jewish identity from its earliest days. John J. Collins explains that regardless of genetics or land, it has long been true that one could become Jewish by observing the laws in the Torah. And that remains true in the modern day. The Christian religion and its sacred book are connected and influence one another. But the significance of the written text has varied throughout history. For Christianity, holiness did not reside in the written text, or in any particular language. It resided in the Christ the text witnessed to. David M. Carr writes that this gave early Christianity a more flexible view of the written texts. U200A 279, U200A. Wilfred Cantwell Smith points out that, in the Islamic system, the Quran fulfills a function comparable to the role played by the person of Jesus Christ, while a closer counterpart to Christian scriptures are the Islamic hadith traditions. Quote, U200A 133, U200A. For centuries the written text had less significance than the will of the Church as represented by the Pope, since the Church saw the text as having been created by the Church. One cause of the Reformation was the perceived need to reorient Christianity around its early text as authoritative. U200A 13, U200A. Some Protestant churches still focus on the idea of sola scriptura, which sees Scripture as the only legitimate religious authority. Some denominations today support the use of the Bible as the only infallible source of Christian teaching. Others, though, advance the concept of prima scriptura in contrast, meaning Scripture primarily or Scripture mainly. In the 21st century, attitudes towards the significance of the Bible continue to differ. Roman Catholics, High Church Anglicans, Methodists and Eastern Orthodox Christians stress the harmony and importance of both the Bible and sacred tradition in combination. United Methodists see Scripture as the major factor in Christian doctrine. But they also emphasize the importance of tradition, experience, and reason. Lutherans teach that the Bible is the sole source for Christian doctrine. Muslims view the Bible as reflecting the true unfolding revelation from God, but revelation which had been corrupted or distorted, in Arabic, tahrif, and therefore necessitated correction by giving the Quran to the Islamic prophet Muhammad. The Rastafari view the Bible as essential to their religion, while the Unitarian Universalists view it as one of many important religious texts.